Welcome back to another thrifting adventure with Real Born Flips. I'm Kevin, and we are out today hitting up the local St. Vincent de Paul thrift store. And I don't normally come here, but my two local stores, the Goodwill and the St. Vincent de Paul, they've had an ongoing war of hours. And for a long time, Goodwill opened at 9, this store opened at 10. And now this store opens at 9:30 and Goodwill opens at 10. So here's the crowd doing the quick trip into St. Vincent before they rush over to Goodwill in a half hour. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to look around. Now, you'll notice this store is very open. There's lots of space. They do a lot of furniture. I don't normally look at that, but I know I've only got half an hour, roughly, to get in here, look, see if I see any killer deals. That I could not tell what it was. I mean, I know it's a food processor bowl, but if they don't have any kind of marking and you can't lens them, it's really tough to tell what they go to. So I put that back. I find some pretty good stuff in the kitchen aisle there. Their prices are pretty good on stuff, so I tend to look there, dig in that calculator bin. I have found a few good calculators in there, and they're cheap. Have not found much here. What's kind of noticeable about this store, and tell me if you have similar stores in your area, where you could go in here and 6 months later go back and see the same things. Like, they don't do a purge, a weekly purge like the Goodwill does. I looked at those speakers several times. I cannot for the life of me remember what the model number was, but they were Sony speakers, big tall ones, and they only wanted $10, but they were pretty rough. Like, they had banged around, and I think I found a comp for really nice ones, but I just didn't want to deal with it. I looked at them a couple of different times. In fact, I think I looked at them a couple of different days in that store. They're gone now. They do $1 remotes, so I do, when I'm in the store, I dig through those things looking for remotes that I need. Usually find one or two. So I also run over here and look at the tennis rackets, because I just sold a Wilson Pro Staff, the 125 vintage tennis racket that I bought here probably a year or so ago on Misadventure. I talked about it in a previous video, but I sold that for I think $120 and bought it here for $3. So I do take a look in those. I don't look at the clothes here. This is the store we typically donate our stuff to, our good stuff. Like, I got a bunch of my wife's and daughter's clothes that I'm going to donate here. We just prefer to donate to this store over the Goodwill. Their media prices are pretty good too, although I hardly ever see Blu-rays here. I think they're just too low priced. Whenever they put a Blu-ray out, someone buys it. Probably a person with a booth somewhere. They also have some records, more triple C's. And I've never found a good record here, although their record prices are excellent too. I think they're 50 cents here. I do check this section right here. This is kind of the sci-fi section, and I've bought books here that go with sets that I'm trying to build. And so that's all I'm doing, is looking to see if I see anything that goes to any of the sets that I'm trying to build. I think the hardback prices here are $2, so much better than Goodwill. And they have a little teeny board game section. I have bought great board games here. I got a great Waterloo game, if you're familiar with that, for like $3. Really great find. They do have some stuff under the glass, which I look at, don't normally buy. Got some glass back here too. Just trying to see, and my clock is ticking. My 30 minutes are running down fast, so we're just looking for that shining moment Sometimes they'll have little camera cases in here, but you can't tell what is in there until you get somebody to come out and open it up and find out it's just like an old GPS or something. Will say the people here are great. If you're familiar at all with this store, the people here are great to deal with. So I like to support this store as much as possible. I'd love to buy more stuff here. They don't give you 7 days, but they do give you 2 days on electronics, so that's good. I try to test anything I can, but I keep going back to those speakers. I wanted to get them, I just didn't get them, which is fine. I do wish I could remember the model number. They were AC powered. I don't think you could battery power those. But I did imagine, driving home in my Honda Civic and pulling my portable CD player out of the car to rush inside and connect it to my speakers back in the 80s. Which, I'm only half kidding. That's what we did. So we're going to head out of here and get over to Goodwill. I didn't buy anything. Didn't find anything really killer. But we're lined up. A rookie mistake on turning the cart. I think he felt bad about that. But we're getting in, and I think it's pink tag day. So a weirdly empty shelf right there. Normally they don't have just big old empty shelves, but it's Monday, so I'm looking for the $2 bread machine, juicers, maybe the random Zojirushi rice cooker, which are never $2, but just doing a quick scan. It's been a while since I've found a good juicer, or not a good juicer, but a normal juicer for me, or a normal bread machine for me. I grabbed that $2 Mr. Coffee pot, thinking it might be worth it. That does go back onto the shelf. I recently started getting some of the metal, like stainless steel carafes for coffee pots like that. And I thought that one would be good. It was a $2 item, pink tag item, but it certainly wasn't. If you're wondering, up there on the top shelf, that was not a Vitamix. That was a knockoff Vitamix. It's funny when you see those and they look like Vitamixes and you pick them up and they weigh about 14 ounces for the whole thing. It's an odd feeling when you pick something up like that and it's not at all heavy like a Vitamix. So I do end up grabbing that. That is a juicer. I didn't think I was going to, but I've already sold one part of it. A part I don't normally ever sell on juicers, the lid. And this was a Bella juicer. And so that turned out to be okay because I've still got several parts of that one to sell. These blankets are a big attraction on $2 day. So we're going to try to sneak through, get down here to the toys and electronics. It'd be so much more convenient if they just put those right up front for me, but they don't do that. So, as you know, if you've been following, I look for those totes that are marked $2 because I just want the tote, and if there's something good in it, great. But there wasn't any $2 totes today. I don't normally find $2 bag toys or $2 board games, but I'm just doing a quick scan. Most of the $2 items I get are either what we just looked at, kitchen stuff, or totes, or some of the bigger electronics like Blu-ray players, stereo, speakers, such like that. I think there's a couple of guys heading that way. They're going to get whatever they can load up. I've gotten some great stuff there that you wouldn't believe, fell to $2. So we're going to pass two guys here. One guy has a one-man band. Another guy just is picking something up that I totally missed. Well, I didn't miss. He got it. But it makes me realize I got to turn around when I'm in this aisle and scan the books. So So I'm just doing a quick peek during the American Idol audition going on behind me. You can see he's got it in his hand. We'll talk to him in a little bit, see what he got. So one thing I have been grabbing lately is if I find a Blu-ray player on $2 day, I should say on this day, I got 2 of them. I actually put 3 in my cart, and I think I put 1 back because it was pretty rough. My mistake was I did not at least plug these in and stick a disc in them and see what happened. Because the 2 that I did end up getting, one of them wouldn't read discs, and the other one, I wasn't getting sound out of it, but it's the kind that has built-in speaker amplifier, and I think you need a remote to channel the sound out of HDMI. I suppose I could maybe wrangle up a speaker to connect and see what happens, but that's something that since I got these 2 Blu-ray players that I've bought on discount where I can't return them, I have plugged them in and thrown a disc in them just to see that they at least play a disc. You can't really, unless you hook it up to a TV, you can't tell, but I found several Sonos speakers here. Found a sound bar, actually, that's hooked up right now in front of me to my TV here, and then several Sonos speakers. We had a house that was built for the Extreme Makeover TV show. We bought it from the family that received it, and it had a built-in Sonos system. And so that's when I became familiar with Sonos. And so every house since then, we've added Sonos in some fashion to it. Just looking for any pink tag remotes that are ones I need. Because I've been buying those Samsung Blu-ray players, or LG Blu-ray players, I'm looking for the little remotes that go with them. This store, they went from a $199 remote price to a $499 remote price. So that little bin there fills up with remotes, and then at some point they throw them all out and start over again because hardly anyone buys those remotes. It's such a shame because, I used to buy remotes all the time, but now it's very few. Those little Bose speakers are pretty good. There was no power cord for them, and they're just not worth it. I limit my purchases to complete sets in a box. So I still don't even know what I missed out on the other shelf, but I do find some great books here. This is kind of the sci-fi section, so I'm always looking in here for like Discworld or the Redwall, Brian Jake's Redwall story. What's the other one? Wheel of Time stuff. So these 3 books were pretty good. I didn't realize at the time, but they're all first edition, first printings as well. So those comps that I showed were the same 3 books, first edition, first printing. I did end up, I think I put that one in the cart maybe. That was another one of his books, but it wasn't the same series, so I ended up putting that one back. I do find a paperback from the same Stormlight something series that I end up keeping. So, looking for bats maybe, gloves. It's been a long time since I found a good bat here or a good glove. Bats are usually about $12, gloves are about 10 or 12, and that's about what I could get out of them. Always in need of a good air pump. I think I grabbed one here that was still new in the package, but I end up carrying that around for quite a while, and then I put it back, just realizing I don't need it. It's not worth reselling. Always on the lookout for good clubs. I hate buying clubs, but I'm always on the lookout. So here's where I see that book and ask him about it. You gotta let me know if you don't buy that.
Oh.
If you don't buy it.
And I'm pretty sure I'm going to get it.
Yeah, no, it's nice. You get a comp on it? You find a comp on it?
Well, I'm not sure. The ones that do show it, it has some damage on it.
Yeah.
But the ones that they're showing are like 400 and 450 bucks.
Wow. Yeah, I could tell from the look of it. I wouldn't know what the value was, but I could tell.
I wouldn't either, other than I'm a Tolkien fan.
Condition is terrible for it. So he's a good guy. I like talking to him about what he buys. He sells local, so we don't really deal in the same kinds of things, but I sure would have liked to have found that book. We'll run into him a little bit later too. That's the fun thing about being in the reselling community, is you get to know some people in your area because you just see them all the time. Some people I see at thrift stores, like these two thrift stores. Some people I see at estate sales all the time. So it's kind of fun to, I've talked to him several times. I don't even know what his name is, but we chat pretty regularly about what we're finding, what we're selling. Yeah, here's a tip for new resellers. When you're in a store and you see little totes, look in them, see what's in them. In this store I bought, it was a white box just on the shelf in the toy aisle. I opened the box and it was I think it was Xbox 360 guitar. But it was not a one you could buy in the store. It was like a pre-development issue, kind of cool for like $8. Really cool item, but it just a random white looking box. So I didn't, I try to keep my ear open for carts coming out. I did not see this cart coming out. So she's probably snuck some great stuff on the shelf there. I didn't see it. So I'm going to let her do her job and then try to see what's over there. But nothing over there. So you saw in my couple of videos ago where I got this great Magnolite stuff right in this aisle. So now when I walk past this aisle, I'm always looking down on the bottom of this shelf just to see if I see the edge of a Magnolite. But no such luck today. The store was pretty crowded. It's weird. Some Mondays super crowded, some not so much. So today's store was pretty crowded. Not a lot of kids, so that's beneficial for me. I did clip out of some of the footage in this video. Just I could blur it out, but sometimes it's easier just to cut it out. So these glass and kitchen cup aisle. Oh, I did find a cup. So we just lost our little Boston Terrier Mo, and saw that cup and thought of him. That might have been a Frenchie, but they look so similar. So things I look for in here are things that are Mr. Coffee iced tea pitchers. I've got a lot of nice French presses in here, not the glass or plasticky ones, but the nice stainless steel ones that I've done pretty well on. So here's a Zojirushi electric skillet with no cord. I think they wanted $25 or $35, something crazy. It wasn't really in that great a shape anyway. And I don't think those bring as good a money as like a rice cooker. I'll put a comp up for a really nice condition one. This was not a really nice condition one. But I'm always on the lookout for Zojirushi. If you don't know that brand, it's almost an automatic look. I went through here once quickly earlier, and sometimes they're still bringing stuff out, so these might not be pink tag. That was, but that turned out to be a Mr. Coffee. I thought it was another iced tea variant, but it's Mr. Coffee iced coffee maker. Not really worth anything. I think in a later trip into the store, I actually found one in the box that might have been new and was still selling at $15. So by that comp, you would see I couldn't even buy it at $15 and make any money on a new one. There's a little bit of a toy aisle and office products aisle, which I also call the cart parking lot. I thought that, for a second, I thought that was a Newton. That's how I got my start in eBay selling, was buying and selling Apple Newtons back in the late 90s. Steve Jobs had come back to Apple and killed off the Newton and created a huge market for buying and reselling Newtons. I made thousands of dollars. Oh, there's a TI calculator. I'm almost not buying those anymore. The price has really come down on those. I used to be able to count on $45 easy, and now I think it's dropped to maybe $35. And that was a nicer one, the built-in battery and stuff. So $10. I probably won't buy any more of those and just sell off what I've got. Yeah, I made thousands of dollars selling just the little adapter that my Apple Newton needed to adapt from one cord to the next. Apple loves doing that. So here's, I'm in the clothing aisle, which is strange, but I saw this thing sitting there. I think I had looked at it once before. They wanted like $15 for it, but it was pink tag today. And I did end up getting it, and I've sold it. I think I took an offer at $20 really quickly. So I got my 10X for a $2 item, which is fine. It just seemed, it seemed a little better built than some of the plasticky things you normally see. All the comps I was finding were for brand new ones, so I really wasn't sure, but I thought for $2, someone might want it just to stick on their Snap-on museum shelf in their shop or whatever. I'm not sure what the guy who bought it wanted it for, but it was worth $20 to them plus shipping. So I don't normally go in the clothing aisle, but I did meet a friend, Nolan, who does well, so check him out on Depop. He was in the store today. I actually met him before the store opened. Young guy who does well selling clothes. And I think when I was checking out, I saw him with a full cart. And note too, I guess tip for young clothing resellers who are buying clothes. All of his clothes were nicely folded up with the tag, ready for the cashier to scan things in. That's something that you should think about when you're buying stuff in stores. Make it easy for the cashiers. I thought about buying this. I think there might have been 2 of them, but the condition was kind of rough. And I just, they might not have worked in the first place, and they were a little bit rough, but kind of cool looking. There's that same microphone. Those are never worth buying. I don't know why I keep looking at that. I've got a nice Shure mic that I'm using, and which I bought, of course, at Goodwill at some point. Thought that might have been a super rare Angry Birds, but no. So I put that back. There was a lot of kids in the aisle. I think I had to cut out a bunch of this footage. Looking for anything cool that I might have missed. The cart's pretty full, so I'm going to need to do a what am I actually buying here pretty quick, I think. We have a lot of Nerf guns that our kids had, and I probably should go through those and just pull out anything that is resellable and get rid of everything else. I know we do have 2 Vulcans that we bought new for the kids when they were little. That's what you want to do. Give your kids machine guns when they're young.
All right, I'm gonna bite on it.
There's a guitar case over there.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Look at that bonus item.
right there.
So I'm going to try and learn a little bit more about this guitar. He sells a lot of musical stuff, so.
So why that one over this one?
That's a. Oh, it's a Gator case. That's a good case.
So what about that guitar? I mean, why are you buying that one?
It is a 1960s, it said, and there was one same model for I think it was $3.99. So, but this one tuner doesn't want to turn, so I'll try spraying it with some WD-40 and see if I can get it to turn.
Yeah,
Then see if I can get 150 bucks for it.
nice.
So I always like to learn a little bit while I'm in the store. Fun to kind of gather as much knowledge as you can. 2 3D movies, I got both of those already. Strangely, the movie prices here are not bad. I want to say the Blu-rays are $3.99. My other Goodwill, they're usually $7.99, no less than $5.99.
Don't lose track of your book. Don't lose
It's
track.
it's kind of interesting
I saw
to
someone
look
look
at
at it.
how. Oh yeah, I wanted to make sure he didn't forget his book. Someone was looking at it. It is kind of funny how they do pricing. Records here are 99 cents. Other Goodwills in my area, $5. Doing a quick check to see if there's any other thing worth grabbing. I think I've been in the store too long, so we're definitely want to pack this up. That was kind of, you couldn't see it on camera, but it was kind of a cool dartboard. But I think it was a normal, not the soft tip. Another new cart, and I wasn't listening. I didn't hear. So I'm going to try and sneak in here and grab stuff while she's unloading. Anything good? Not seeing anything good. Million puzzles. I was trying to dodge out of the way so I'm not blocking them from doing their jobs. There's 2 different people that resell, that shop in stores like this. The kind who try to get out of the way, and the kind who are always in the way. I try to get out of the way. So she was putting stuff down here, so I gotta go check. I'm putting that game back. It just, I don't even know. I thought it was old. I guess it wasn't. So I do end up finding something here that I think she might have put out. because I don't remember seeing it, and I do kind of check on things. It caught my eye. It was a bag of toys. It just looked old. At first I thought it was maybe some Marx figures, but then I saw one in there that made me think I knew what it might be. I think it was only $5 or $6 for the bag, so definitely worth grabbing at that price for clearly vintage figures. You're always going to get you'd at least get that, reselling it back. But I'm going to get out of her way and go check those out, see what they are. Find a safe, I need a safe space. We'll park here. You're not supposed to do this. Don't do this. Don't do what I'm about to do. You're not supposed to unzip the zip bags. They staple them all. But the problem is when you're trying to lens these things, they don't lens well through the plastic. So I'm going to I'm sure I'm buying this, but I'm going to carefully pull one out and lens this guy. He looked familiar. And yeah, it was I think it's actually said 1972 on the figure. Like a Noah's Ark. Now, I looked around for the Ark. I could not find that. I just found the bag of figures. But I found two Noahs and two Noah's wife. Now, I think I talked on this channel recently about what the heck was Noah's wife's name. Because I haven't figured out what Noah's wife's name was. But anyway, there was two each in there, so I haven't tried to figure this out yet, but it made me think maybe I got two sets of figures in there, which is great because then I can just put two sets out there for sale. They were a little bit different, just slightly, so I think one might be a different age, but everything looked marked Hong Kong. Some of them said 1972, so there's the unnamed wife of Noah. So we're going to grab those. I'm trying to think back a few years, what I did trying to figure out what things were before I could pull out a phone out of my pocket and scan a picture of it and have the internet tell me what it was. It was much more difficult. So I put a bunch of these models in my cart knowing that they probably were not going to stay in there. The prices for open, like I think some of these were still unused. But man, the prices on stuff, the prices they charge and then what you can actually get for it, tax shipping on top of that, it's very difficult to buy stuff like that in a thrift store and be able to make any money on it. It's got to be a unique model or a very large model. I've sold those very large sailing ships and done well with those very large tractor trailers. Or the truck. All of those just weren't good enough. I'm sure there's guys that I think actually I talked to one of them here in a minute that come in to buy stuff for themselves. They're not resellers. They're just here to get something to like puzzle to put together or a model to put together. And the prices are just fine for them. So it's kind of a battle. Like the resellers want to get everything as cheap as possible, and there's a bunch of people that just want to buy stuff. They want to hang out, talk to people in the aisle, which is fine. I think I looked one of these up and realized, okay, none of these are any good. Smithsonian models. Nope. So I talked about this in the past, where you put something in your cart that you already know is not going to be good, but you think you know, but you never know. And every once in a while, this happens just rarely enough that it makes you do this. Because at one time I thought it was not worth anything, and it was worth $1 million. So yeah, nope. Yeah. So we saw him in the other store. He's inquiring. I asked him if he wanted these, and he said nope. So even he knew they weren't any good.
Yeah.
He never has a cart, so I'm not sure if he ever buys anything. I see him looking at like bags of Hot Wheels and stuff all the time. We need to button this trip up. I actually had an appointment I had to get to. So we're gonna go check out, but we're gonna make a surprise reappearance, a second trip into this store, just to see about an hour later. Now I'm speeding this footage up because just for my daughter, I found out she watches my show at like 2.5 times speed. So this is just to mess with her, because she's gonna wonder what the heck's going on. This is just for you, honey. This is to mess with you. I did a quick scan. You're not really even looking at where you're looking at. You're looking to see if anything looks different than what you just looked at. That looked different than what I just looked at. It was some kind of vacuum or something. Nothing here, nothing here. Any electronics, any cameras, any Samsung One Connects boxes. I have made some surprising finds on a second trip in, and usually I try to give myself a good hour between trips, so that because they're still bringing stuff out continually. You saw that cart there. They're bringing stuff out continually, so it wouldn't be anything discounted on this day, but might be something worth grabbing. And when you're in a store full of people who are focused solely on the one color tag that's discounted, sometimes they miss stuff. I thought for a second I found a great pan there, but turns out it wasn't great. So we're gonna quickly leave the store and get to the haul portion of the video and show you what we did end up getting. Okay, we're back from a couple of stops. We stopped at the St. Vincent de Paul. We didn't buy anything there, which is normal for visits there. They just don't have the selection. But we did stop at Goodwill, and this is Monday, so it's $1.99 day for pink tags. And I got several pink tag items. So we'll start off with the two Samsung Blu-ray players over here. The bottom one is it's a BDC 6500, so standard Blu-ray, not 3D. And so I paid $2 for each of those. I typically try to get at least $20 for those types of Blu-ray players. I don't have the remote. Unless I happen to have a remote, then I'll put the price up maybe to $30. And obviously I still have to test them. I did test in the store that they powered on and the tray's open and closed. This one on top is a little better. It's a 3D Blu-ray. It's a HTH 50 something, 4500. And so I should get a little more for that, maybe $30, $35, maybe even $40 for that one. We'll have to see. And again, I'll look and see if I've already got remotes for those. I have a bunch of Samsung remotes, so we'll check it out. And then on top here is a Snap-on RC car. I don't expect to get much because the only sold that I saw was for a brand new one, but I only have $2 into this, so I'm going to price mine way lower than the $70 that one in the same condition is listed for sale right now. That's the lowest priced one. So we'll see. It's in nice condition, so I'm sure someone will want it, even if they just want it for display. The only one that has sold that I found was brand new for $120 plus $40 shipping. So I think I have a little bit of room there. And then we'll come over here to this juicer. I've never bought a Bella juicer to part out, so I wasn't sure how this was going to go, but this one actually is pretty good. A lot of the parts do sell, and I typically try to get $10 to $15 for each thing I sell. So I'll try and sell this pulp cup, this pusher, and might even try and sell this lid and then the blade itself. I don't typically try to sell any other parts on these. Maybe rubber feet if they come off easily. I do sell those occasionally. So we'll give it a shot. That's the Bella Sensio Juicer XJ-12405. So we'll see what happens there. So those were the pink tag items that I got. And I do look at books, and I think if you saw in the video, you saw a friend of mine get a really nice Hobbit book, which I'll show you if I can find a comp for. I'll show you. So I started looking in books, and I did find these Brandon Sanderson. These are all from the, I think it's the Stormlight Archive, Stormlight Archive series. This is in paperback, it's book 2, and then in hardback 3, 4, and the final book 5. These are all in really nice new condition, all first editions, all first printings. And then this is just a paperback, has a little damage. So my Goodwill charges $4 for hardback books and $2 for paperbacks. So I've got $14 into this set, but I should get, even just for these 3, I should get about $75 to $80. I'm going to add in this book just as kind of a bonus value add to hopefully get a sale over someone else who doesn't include that. So that's I always look through the hardback science fiction and wasn't really familiar with Brandon Sanderson, but I'm glad I looked. Okay, and then we'll come down here. This euchre game is a personal purchase, brand new from Front Porch, but I paid about what it's worth, $10. But I grew up playing euchre, and my wife and I used to play with my parents, and so I wanted to get this just on the off chance we can teach our kids to play, because you do have to have 4 people. So that's a fun game to play if you've never played it, and it may cause trouble in your family. This is a Sony remote. You can't see it because the price tag's there. And yes, it was $5. My Goodwill is nuts about remotes. But this is for a Sony DVD VHS player. So the DVD this is not for the DVD recorder version. I have a bunch of these players, so I'm always on the lookout for the original Sony remotes because they're just way better than the knockoff remotes. And then I did look through the calculators and found this. So this is a TI-84 Plus C Silver Edition. So it has a built-in rechargeable battery. You just plug a USB micro cord in there. I paid $10 for it. This one's really nice condition. I should get $50. I usually price these about $50. I price the non-silver editions a little less. So I know the prices have come down on these, but hoping that this is in such nice condition, and I'll add a cable to it. And obviously I still need to test it, but really nice condition there. I paid $10 for that. Those are almost automatic buys even at $10 because you still sell them pretty quickly, and it's almost an automatic. And then the last item, this was kind of interesting. I found this bag of toys, $5, and it just looked old. these tiny little animals is what first drew me to it. But then inside the bag, I could see some figures, and what I recognized was that this was probably Noah and his wife and the animals. Now there's 2 sets here, so there may be 2 sets or close to 2 sets of animals in here, and these are all manufactured, probably can't see this, but manufactured in Hong Kong 1972, and these are Ray. This Noah, he looks like he maybe was out there for more than 40 days. He's only marked made in Korea. No, made in Hong Kong. He's not marked as 1972, so I'm not sure. He might be an older version, maybe. I'm gonna do a little more research on that, but it looked like comps. I'm not gonna make $1 million on this. Maybe $30 per set if I have 2 sets. But that's still a great pickup. I always look through the bag toys for anything that looks vintage, and so I'm glad I grabbed this. So we'll do a little more research on this and throw up some comps that I think might work.
All right, nothing's more fun than a family card game. Now, the game is euchre. Begin by separating the 9s, 10s, face cards, and aces from the rest of the deck. The goal is to win at least 3 tricks. Now, if the side that fixed the trump fails to get 3 tricks, it is said to be euchred. The highest trump is the jack of the trump suit, called the right bower. Partnership-making trump wins 3 or 4 tricks and earns 1 point. Lone hand wins 3 or 4 tricks, also earns 1 point. However, a lone hand wins 5 tricks, that's worth 4 points. Many euchre games are scored by rubber points, as in whist. The first side to win 2 games wins the rubber.